What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a brand new video. This past weekend I was in Lake Tahoe with some of my buddies. We were supposed to film a basketball video, but I didn't quite get to that. I will make that up to you guys, I promise. But I'm gonna show you guys a couple quick, beautiful things that we got to do in Lake Tahoe right now. All right, so Matt is claiming that he's faster than Daniel.
I gotta got Matt. I gotta
Yo,
got money on Matt.
what do you weigh? What do you weigh?
Money on my big dog.
What do you weigh?
What are we at? What are we weighing?
Yeah, what do you weigh?
So where? I weigh 215.
215. Daniel, what do you weigh?
145.
145 versus 215. From here to the stick. Here's the finish line. And they're down there. This is going down. Big time run. Anyone want to put money on this?
I put money on Matty.
You put money on Matty? 20 bucks.
100 bucks.
$20. Who do you have, Matty?
I got Dan for sure.
Oh, smoked him! Smoked him! I didn't pull that heavy.
Oh, I just pulled my homie. You gotta Free 20. Free 20. Free 20. Free 20. Thank you. Thank you. Yo, where's my 20? Pay up. Pay up. We hiked, played Monopoly, showed you guys views. It was an amazing trip. I was going to do a basketball video for you guys while I was there with my friends, but unfortunately it started raining and snowing, which we were not expecting. But anyway, we had a great trip. I am back now, giving you guys a new video. About a month ago, I came out with a video called How to Become a D1 Hooper. It was a little broad. I basically gave you guys the path from high school to college and how I got to Baylor. A lot of you gave me feedback saying you wanted more details of my road to college basketball. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to choose the right AAU or travel team. I want to start by saying I don't think that choosing the right AAU team happens the first go around. I think some people get lucky and end up playing with AAU teams for a very long time, but to start off, there's a lot of trial and error with AAU or travel teams. You don't know how the coaches are, you don't know how the players are, you don't know how the parents are, which is somehow a factor. You learn all of these things through the process. My first AAU or travel team was called Hoopmasters. The biggest takeaway I got from Hoopmasters was my coach. I had a coach named John Fisher. John Fisher was one of the first real basketball coaches I ever had, and I'm so thankful for him to this day. Why? John Fisher was on my butt about being the best player I could possibly be. He screamed at me, he yelled at me, he did everything he could to make me a better player. Now, did my dad step in and say anything about him screaming at me? No, because my dad knew how good it was for me. So if you guys are out there watching this and you have a very tough coach on you, let them be on you and handle it the best you possibly can, because you will have tough coaches your entire life. A teammate from that team, actually a couple of my teammates from that team ended up playing Division I basketball, Montana, Penn. We had some really good players on that team and we all got yelled at together. As we got older, we weren't playing in the biggest tournaments, and I think we all just started to grow apart and grow out of the team a little bit and moved on to different places. I actually ended up going with one of my other teammates to another team at that time called Rising Stars. Now, I grew up in a neighborhood where we didn't have the most athletic kids or the best basketball kids in the world. I had to venture out with my teammate and go to a place that I was a little less comfortable. It was way less athletic than anyone else, which put me in a tough position because I had to figure out how to compete with these guys being so much less athletic. Again, I'm very thankful for this situation because it made me so much better. It made me try and figure out how to make it in a tough situation that I wasn't used to. We also had some tough coaches, but in this circumstance, it was more of testing our physical fitness with this team that was so different for me. Running on the track, sprints, miles, push-ups, wall sits. I had never been tested like this before. Actually, my high school coach was the toughest once I got to high school, but this prepared me for that level. Again, I was out of shape, I was slower than everyone else, so I had to keep up. It was my only option, and there was no quitting. I became a much more athletic, a much smarter, a much more strategic player with this team, but I was more of a 6th or 7th man who would come in the game and just shoot threes. We pressed and played a lot of fast-paced defense, which I wasn't always the best at. I was slower. I didn't play as much as the rest of the team because my defense lacked, but I did get good minutes because I could shoot the ball. Our team then turned into California Supreme, which still exists today. It's one of the biggest AAU teams in the country. I loved playing with this team. It's basically the same team, but we became Nike. We never had a Nike sponsorship before. I think we had a Reebok sponsorship, which I didn't love, super baggy jerseys and the pump shoes, which I didn't really like. And we became Nike, which was a big deal. This was the ooh and ah. When I was there, there was no Instagram, there was none of that stuff at the time, so this was very, very new, and to be sponsored by Nike as an AAU 12 and under team was a huge deal. We played in some big tournaments. We played against the Atlanta Celtics, which was one of the best teams at the time. They had a couple college NBA players now that played for them. We played against Austin Rivers, who had one of the best teams in the country. We played against Kyle Anderson, who obviously now plays in the NBA. Played against a lot of ex-NBA players in these tournaments. I started at the same time playing in some player showcases. And these player showcases were put on by a coach named Dinos Trigonis. And Dinos put on the biggest showcases and the biggest tournaments in the country. So I felt I needed to move on from my travel team, which I had been so comfortable with my whole life, and step into something new. Dinos Trigonis' team was called Belmont Shore. We were not sponsored by anyone. We were sponsored by Belmont Shore, which was our own team. Now this team was very different because we were the cream of the crop. We had Stanley Johnson, we had Caden Reinhardt, we had real NBA studs on this team. Now there were plus and minuses to this team. I played in all of the player showcases, which a lot of college coaches came to. I played in the Dinos All-American game, probably because I played for Dinos' AAU team, which helped me get in the game, most likely. I wasn't super highly rated in high school, so getting in an All-American game was a very big deal for me. The downside of things was that I didn't play as much. I was less athletic, I wasn't as tall as anyone else, but I could still shoot the ball. So I did play, but not as much as I needed to play in front of these college coaches. Our tournaments were packed with college coaches, which was amazing, and it was a different experience to play in front of 30 college coaches, Kentucky, Duke, I mean, the biggest college coaches in the country sitting on the baseline. Unfortunately, they were not paying attention to me. So if I were to go back in time and change the situation, I would do a better job of finding a team that suited me, finding a big athletic big man that was getting recruited, finding players that I could play really well with, but also play the whole game. I mean, playing good minutes and putting up good numbers and being a good teammate are probably the most important things when getting recruited. Another big thing when you're younger and getting recruited is going to recruit college camps. Now, they're starting to recruit a lot younger than they used to. When I was in middle school, before high school, they were recruiting not until like sophomore, junior year of high school. Now they're recruiting in like middle school. There's highlight tapes, there's all this stuff. So you guys have way more of an advantage of getting recruited at an earlier age, which is amazing. So I would say start reaching out to college coaches now and telling them who you are, sending them highlights, sending them your stats, and getting into those college recruit camps, because that's where the coaches can really see you and that's where you need to shine. I want you guys to remember that every time you step on the court, you never know who's watching, which sometimes I took advantage of because I would come in lazy or not prepared and not play my best game, and you never know what college coaches are there watching you. So play your best in every game. I don't care if you're playing back-to-back games, back-to-back games, because I know how AAU games are. You always must prepare yourself. Don't eat crappy foods. Make sure your head is in the game. Listen to music before the game. Get some sleep when you're on the road at these tournaments. All of these factors play into how you play. I would say in today's world, it's very easy to get caught up in playing for the coolest AAU team, playing with LeBron's son, playing with Dwayne Wade's son, being sponsored by Nike, all of these sorts of factors. But if your true focus is to go to college to play in the NBA, a real basketball vision, I would say you need to find the right team for yourself and not necessarily play for the most hyped up team or play with someone that is an NBA player's son. Now, if your focus is on just creating friendships, relationships, business in general, I would say, yeah, absolutely use your basketball talents to go play with Bronny and play alongside of him, because that road that he's on right now and the attention that he attracts is incredible. So that is my biggest advice for choosing the best AAU team to play on, to get noticed by high schools, by colleges. That is my advice. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment below and let me know what else you guys want to hear about. You want to hear about more in-depth details about my career? Do you want to hear about how to make it to the college level, how to make it to the pro level? What you guys really want to hear from me and my experiences in my basketball career. I had someone come up to me at the coffee shop today and challenge me in one-on-one because he watches my YouTube videos. I'm gonna start challenging more of you guys in public and putting that stuff, because I know you guys love seeing 1v1s and 5v5s. So I'm gonna start posting more of that stuff on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to comment below and let me know what else you want to see. If you are not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend. I have a collaboration coming out with B-Ball Breakdown next week, the basketball guru. Excited to show you guys that. For now, stay tuned. We're out. Thanks for watching. Peace.